That gentleman right there. What do you think is the biggest obstacles for you to go to the gym? What's the biggest obstacles or the challenge to drag yourself to the gym?
I don't go to the gym.
Oh, what do you guys?
Run and swim. You didn't say...
Oh, okay, I mean exercise. Yes. So what do you think is the biggest obstacle for you to stop you from going to the gym or to the park and exercise?
Probably time.
Time. Anyone else raise their hands? The guy with his Keith. What's the biggest obstacle for you?
The traffic.
The traffic? Okay. Anyone else want to say it? What's the biggest problem for you? Yes?
The mindset.
The mindset. Just to get the right mindset to go to work out, right? Yeah. I think it all comes down to this question, how can we all maintain that work-life balance? I think the biggest problem is it's all about time management. See, it's how you manage your time. And I've heard a lot of people, they keep saying that, I want to start working out, I want to start this lifestyle, but then I don't have time. I don't know where to begin. Let's ask the panelists, what do you think of that statement? Let's start with Dr. Susan.
I don't have time, I don't know where to begin is an absolutely valid thing to say. I think a lot of people don't know where to start and they don't have enough time because they haven't put it as a priority. You can't put something as a priority unless you actually understand the benefits. So I think what's really important for us to do as fitness professionals is to help people, one, understand and gain the benefits, and then try and help them figure out how to fit it in. It doesn't have to be in a gym, sorry. It doesn't have to be in a gym. It can be in a park, it can be in a pool, it can be walking up and down the stairs in their office. It's basically getting people to understand how to be more active and what the benefits are. So totally understand there's a lot of people out there who need inspiration. So we need to be the inspiration.
So Emma, what do you think about that? When people say that statement, I don't have time, when people say that excuse, what do you think about that?
I agree. I think that it's completely valid because it's an excuse that I say in my head all the time and out loud. But I think what you have to do with that excuse is understand the tools to try to change the mindset. And once you start to exercise, even if you can just get past that initial thought of, oh, I don't have the time or the energy or whatever the excuse is, once you start a routine, and also if you figure out a routine with friends or with coworkers, especially if it's work that's the biggest excuse, trying to find a routine that's near to your office or near to your home and someone who motivates you and putting a real plan together and having structure around that, I think that's really a game changer for people once they have those tools.
I agree. Yeah, totally agree. Matt?
For me, I was one of the ones that had my hand down, not doing exercise 3 times a week. Time, mindset, and a lack of, I suppose, what we would call gym buddies, or people to basically motivate exactly that. And it's having those tools in your toolbox to basically do it. And if there's no one there pushing you, and you're not motivated to do it, it's very, very easy not to. It's very, very difficult to go, but when you do it, you feel great. It's very, very easy just to drop out and to say, today, no, I'll leave it and I'll pass, And I think the other thing for me is finding things that I can really enjoy to do. Sitting on a treadmill for half an hour isn't, my idea of fun. It neither is running in the park, to be totally honest, in hot weather. I want to be able to play football, I want to be able to do something that kind of engages with social life basically at the same time as well, because it boils back down to work as well. Having those social hours basically mean you either compromise your social hours or you compromise your workout basically hours. And I think if you can have a mix between the two, then you're halfway there.
Well, whatever you said, maybe you have no time due to traffic or whatever, but really, I really think that the number one enemy that get people away from exercise, procrastination. So just get to the point. Most of you, probably exercise. Some of you think you exercise, but only one thing that made you stop the exercise and holding you back, it's just procrastination. So everyone knows that exercise is good, lots of benefits out there, but just right here, because let me give you this. I always believe that your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. So basically, if you really want to make a big changes, the real changes in your life, it start from here. Of course, it's mindset. So don't want to say like crazy, you know, but like just go for it. You know, like if you want to date with someone, you know, whatever happen, you know, brain or whatever, you will make it anyway. The same thing. This is for yourself, for the one that you love, you know, for your company, for your staff. So most of you are here, you know, executive management, start from the leader. You know, you can be like a good example. Just get started. So I recognize, you know, some of you sitting here at the Rupini Park. You know, I know that some of you run a lot at the park. You know, some of it doesn't have to be like exercise in the gym. You know, to exercise, it's not about having a fancy membership paid required. But you know, you can do exercise just anywhere. So the bottom line, I think, you know, put the right mindset, stop excuses, and then just do it.
I think for me, yeah, I think it's all about dedications, you know. So, and also Emma, I've heard that you have to travel around a lot between Singapore and Bangkok, right? So please share, based on your experience, how do you manage your time? Do you even have time to work on yourself?
Yeah, great question. I actually landed at 10 p.m. last night from Singapore, and I worked all day. I was at the office at 8:30 this morning, and tomorrow I'll leave on a 7:30 a.m. flight to the islands because we have an event that we're doing for the weekend for work. So I am busy, and I'm traveling around, and like many people probably in this room, and definitely in the city, it's pretty transient here, so people are moving all the time. But this morning at 7 a.m. I woke up and I did yoga in my room. I was saying to Susan when we started stretching, I already did my yoga today because I knew that I had a 30-minute window that wouldn't cut into my sleep and wouldn't cut into my work day, and then I had this commitment this evening, and I just did it. And I had a cup of coffee to get me in the mood, but otherwise I would have been probably a little miserable getting on my mat, but I just kept thinking about how I would feel after and how it would affect the rest of my day because I might be a little tired right now and wouldn't be as pleasant with all of you guys, or at work I wouldn't have been as sharp, and so I always just try to think about what I'm going to feel like after that exercise, and that's what really motivates me. But it's hard when you're traveling and you're really busy and working and have long hours and a life and a family and want to have a social life and also get sleep in to try to keep that part of your schedule. But even if you just give yourself that 30 minutes every day, it makes a difference.
Thank you. What about you, Dr. Susan?
What about me?
Yeah, could you share your experience, like how you manage your time?
I get up really early to exercise.
Every day?
In the morning? Not every day, no, but lots of days. It just becomes part of your routine. I think when it becomes part of your routine, you don't have to think about it anymore. So I also travel a fair amount. I make sure my running shoes are packed and something easy, and I'll go out for a walk, a run, something, at some point. I think it's also helpful if you join a group. If you have a group of friends that you meet at a certain time every time, then you have someone with you. It's a bit of an obligation, unless you're super self-disciplined, which I'm not always. So a personal trainer helps that way because you have an appointment, you need to show up. A group, a running group helps because you've got people waiting for you. So I think that's one of the things that might be able to help is if you get yourself sorted out and get people organized so you make an appointment with someone and then you kind of have to show up and eventually it just becomes lots of fun.
Yeah, I think with all of that said, I think the hardest part is actually how can you actually start this healthy lifestyle? The hardest thing is to start. So just start it, you know. Or, I mean, Kibo. Kibo is actually a tool that can actually, you know, push people to, even before they decided to exercise, right? Please tell us about the application.
Yes, exactly that. It's an application that allows you to monitor your steps all day and compete with peers, compete with employees in the office. And I think the true thing is, for a lot of people, is that people want to go to the gym. I think everyone here wants to go to the gym. And what Kibo basically does is it gives you that stepping stone towards getting there and being more active and monitoring things like your steps, because you don't know where you can go if you don't know where you're starting from. And knowing if you're doing 1,000 steps a day or 2,000 steps a day, you don't know if that's good or if that's not good. You know, the industry says you should be doing 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day minimum. It's quite difficult when you're doing it in office. But you're also comparing yourself with other people in the office. And that's where our platform basically comes in. It allows you to compete with your peers in the office, with your friends in the office, so you can see basically on a daily basis exactly how you're doing against them. And they're the kind of people that you're motivated by. They're the kind of people that you'll see when you're waking up in the morning and you're getting into work maybe at 9 o'clock, 2 or 3 of them have already done 6,000 or 7,000 steps. So you consider yourself doing a similar job to them, but they're finding the time in the morning to go to the gym. So it kind of challenges you a little bit to be able to do that. And the other stepping stone towards getting there, and what we found with this was when I was working with Jawbone beforehand, it encourages user change of behaviour. And that might be something as simple as parking in the 5th floor of the car park rather than the 1st floor, because it's easy to get to work. Or it might be taking 4 flights of stairs up in the morning rather than taking the elevator up, just to get the additional steps basically up and in there. So our platform basically allows you to monitor your own steps, but to monitor that of the peers. And then also from a company perspective, it allows the company to motivate employees to step more with a total step number basically, so that the company doesn't see the individual steps, but it will see the company's total steps. But it allows the company to incentivize staff or employees basically with wellness benefits, with health benefits basically, based on the back of steps as a total.
I think Kibo in that way is basically a tool for companies to encourage businesses to incorporate a healthy lifestyle into their daily business operations, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's not. I mean, I always go to say it as companies or as employees, but actually, it's organisations.
Yeah,
it could be anything. Actually, it could be a gym group. It could be a running group. It could be a workout group of any sort. It could be people that just want to run or walk in the park at lunchtime. Actually, it can be open for basically anyone just to compete with each other in a very sort of fun and friendly way, where it's not too evasive, where someone at the top doesn't see exactly what everyone's doing, but you just basically get to monitor it and compete amongst your friends.
So basically, it's like starting with something fun for everyone. It's easy to access.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone to the great things that these guys do. And I think it's the bit that sometimes when you don't go to the gym for a day or you don't have the time, you find yourself sometimes just walking that extra. So maybe you do 10,000 steps, or maybe it's so you can beat Steve in the office, for example, because he's beaten you for the last 3 days, and you get the bragging rights the next morning almost in a way. So it's kind of just encouraging that user behaviour change, which we hope basically leads to a stepping stone to going to the gym, working out more, finding more time to do stuff, and getting that motivation up so that you feel more energised to do stuff.
It's really good, yeah. How do you think that can shift into other companies like Virgin or Guava or Fit?
The stepping stone for where we're looking at the moment is basically as a companies, they are saying, okay, well, if we have 100 employees in our company and they're doing 7,000 steps a day each and they're hitting their targets, how do we incentivize them? What can we do to give them basically rewards? And those rewards can be anything from, for example, Virgin Gym memberships, for example, discounted GuavaPass memberships, for example, personal trainers, access to them, for example. It might be something as simple as, free lunch on a Friday, or the ability to cash those kind of rewards in for basically taking time off work to be able to go and exercise or find time to spend with your family and your friends. So it can really be anything. The great thing with it is it's not constrained to anything in particular. It's a toolbox basically that allows the company to use those points and coins however they wish to.
So, hold on, what do you think? Do you think like Virgin, right? Do you have any to do with that incorporates like all the business into empower the employees to work out?
Well, I think we are so lucky and have to thanks to the technologies today. We connecting people, and I'm so lucky. Working at Virgin Active. At Virgin Way, we not require staff. Actually, the head office staff, they don't need to come to the office and work at the office, but they can work from home. They can work from coffee shop. They can work from anywhere. but we have the commitment that once a week, all the staff have to meet and work out together at the gym. So that's how cool it is. And again, I mean, if we back then, like 15, 20 years ago, probably we heard a lot about work and life balance. So, which is really, if we think in that time, it wasn't a big pressure. I can feel that because when we work, we probably, was thinking we're not gonna think about family and not think about the personal issue. And when we work, when we're back home, like 15, 20 years ago, we try to like not touch about work, things like that. So today, I would define the word of work and life balance into work and life integration. Again, it's come from the technologies. So work in or work out, actually you can work anywhere at the gym. Just, doesn't have to be Virgin Active, but I think most of the gym in Bangkok, in the world, to bring the technologies in the club, lots of Wi-Fi, lots of connectivity, on the machine. So like in Virgin, we have meeting facilities. So basically, you can work in, work out, do the business in the club. Even you can do like the video conference on the treadmill.
Yeah, it's great. So, Dr. Susan, do you have like any suggestions to give to all the companies, the managers out here, that how can they empower their employees? It's a good question.
Well, that's a good question, and it's a hard answer. I think companies have been talking about corporate wellness and health for a long, long time, and I don't know that there have been that many successful programs. It's really a hard thing to get. What you really need, we were talking about, you really need a champion. You need someone in the organization who truly believes it and truly embodies that. If you can find that person can help everyone kind of figure out options. I think the other issue is often companies choose one solution, and there's not one solution. There's so many different solutions. Some people like the park, some people like the gym, some people like walking up and down the stairs, some people like doing yoga, and some people like boxing. So there's not just one solution. So companies need to somehow work with the group that will help everyone figure out what works for them. And then I think those gadget things, the self-monitoring is really important for people to be aware of what they actually are doing, because we're often not aware of how active or inactive we are. So whether or not you have a corporate organization doing it, or whether you just kind of learn, we teach our trainers to help their clients think about how they can manage their own fitness and their own activity, because that's what's important. It has to come from you. So I think companies need to work with their employees rather than impose a program that they think is cool, and then find a champion or two who can help them. But it's not easy.
Yes.
Is it easy? Anyone out there done something? Are you familiar with successful programs in companies? No? Shaking heads? I'm depressed, I'm going to commit suicide. Okay, come hire a really good personal trainer and go to some studio, or get them to join GuavaPass and try out a whole bunch of things and figure out what works for them. That's one of the great things about GuavaPass. Honestly, is people, I want to do something, but I don't know what I want to do. Okay, let's try yoga today, boxing tomorrow. That's one of the great things about it.
Emma, what do you think about that?
I agree. I mean, I do, honestly. It's just buy GuavaPass and all your problems will be solved. Just kidding. But really, no. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to impose one solution on all of your employees who have different needs and different desires. But at the same time, corporate wellness has to be part of the employee life, because it will help productivity, it will help retention, I mean, it will help so many different things in the workplace. There's some companies out here that I know about right now that are experimenting with putting gyms, small gyms, into their offices if they have the space, and making it a requirement to at least participate in some way in one class a week. And having a whole variety of different things. But again, if you're the person who wants to be outside, or you'd rather, I don't know, go play a team sport, which is exercise, you can't put everyone into one box. So yeah, try different things, or maybe, I mean, I think Matt's onto something with his product, to be honest. This is like it's the corporate solution. You're figuring out a way to empower employees to be healthy without saying this is what you have to do in order to do it, but you're gamifying it in the sense that they feel like there's going to be a reward if they can reach certain levels. So, yeah.
Yeah, so any one of you guys here like have any questions to ask the panelists?
Jack?
Thank you. Do you think that companies in Thailand put less importance on wellness overall than, say, in America or in the West? And if that is the case here, why do you think that is, and how can it be changed? Like wellness programs within companies. I think that's quite important to put on it in America and in the West, but in Thailand it doesn't seem as though companies put as much importance on it. So just wonder if you agree that that's the case, and how it can be changed.
Agree entirely. Here is probably one of the worst places in the world for inspiring staff to do more at the moment. I think you're right. I think the US is one of those probably areas where they're really starting to focus on it a little bit more and allow staff to have tools that will allow people to work out, and that's maybe just flexible time, or whether that's, you know, discounted gym memberships or things like that. Japan's another area where they're really starting to take staff wellness very serious. I say that's the worst place in the world. It's not high on the priority list here to help staff. Staff will have to go and find their own benefits, basically. Multinationals are a little bit more open with it and starting to come round to the idea, most definitely. And it's coming. It is really coming, because the insurance companies are coming with it as well. And the insurance companies are saying, if you have healthier employees, we'll pay for these kind of things. We'll make these kind of things a lot easier for you as well. So, yeah, it's far down the list, I think, from a priority perspective here. But I think it's one of those things that will become fast up the list very, very quickly. And employees are now starting to choose companies that give you these kind of things as well. This becomes one of the things that becomes a decision factor. Not just things like salary now and how many days off can I get, but what kind of wellness programs and what kind of other benefits can I get? And companies are always looking at ways to make themselves more attractive, and that, that's putting treadmills in the office, for example, or the stand-up desks, for example, that you can walk on. That's better. or offering discount memberships on gyms, for example, as part of that. So yeah, I think it's a difficult step to overcome, but I think it will get better over the next 2 or 3 years, and it will get a lot stronger.
I believe Dr. Susan has something to say.
Just a couple of things in response to it's the worst country in the world. It's not.
In general.
It's a great country. I think one of the issues as well is that fitness is relatively recent here. When I came to Bangkok in 2001, there was one fitness center. It was on the corner of Silom and Convent, and that was it. And then Fitness First opened one. And so fitness is still a relatively new concept. And 20, 30 years ago, nobody in Thailand thought they had to exercise, because most of them did exercise for work. They moved. So in the West, fitness has been around for 20, 30 years. It's a very established business, and I think that helps. So I think we have to give it time, and I think we have to raise awareness. And again, find champions, find someone who can really help inspire people. But I don't think it's a hopeless cause. It can happen, but we need to do a lot of justification. I think in the West, people understand that fitness and activity actually makes you more productive and reduces absenteeism, but here companies are not yet convinced of that fact. So I think we, as fitness professionals, need to educate companies and senior executives in companies so that they can try and figure out how to do something. So just need to...
I think not only about that, but it's about cultural aspect too, because I believe that, Thai people in general, they have the sabai attitude, So it's quite hard to actually motivate them to even to start working out or to Even if the companies offer something for them, right? Let's say you have a treadmill or you offer a class in the company, they still don't use it or they still not join the class. Why is that? Because it is hard to motivate Thai people because of their attitudes in general. That's what I believe, and that's what Dr. Susan said. We have to educate the people here too.
So let me share my perspective. So get it a little bit closer here. So I always find that Thai people and Singaporean, we are like Thailand and Singapore, very close country, but like Thai people, we are totally different. So I always define Thai people. It doesn't mean that who good or who not good, but like I always define Thai people, we are like very emotional people. But in Singapore, they are like very functional. So the two countries, of course, but we are totally different. I have a good statistic, about the people in each country, the penetrations of the people who belong to the gym. In Thailand, it's still less than 1% of the population belong to the gym. And in Singapore, 8%. So basically, I would say that in Thailand, we are not that mature market yet, but we are growing. And of course, like exercise is not the easy thing. It's a hard job. It's a hard work. We know that. Really, that's why when they talk about Thai people, we kind of emotional people. It starts from fun. So we need to find fun factor to get the people work out, get people started. Again, like in the corporate, I have a lot of my corporate friends. Many of them have been doing very successfully. Like, for example, one of the biggest online shopping companies in Thailand. They talk about like over 1,000 employees, and the MD came to talk with me one day that how can my company get the best out of my employees? So lots of answer, but one answer that we can help, it's about the health and wellness program. And right now, they've been with us for about almost a year. Over 50% of the employees, and that's about over 500 employees, we talk about 500 employees, they exercise now. Don't need to talk about the result. The productivity is a lot better, like HR very happy now, less leave record. And bottom line, the staff very happy. And again, I think it doesn't have to be Virgin Active, just anywhere. I think, all of us willing to help, the staff to be healthier. And when we talk about the program, the health and wellness program for the employee, they don't need to come to work out at the gym all the time. Sometimes, they're busy, we set the special class and then we conduct the class right in the office. So there is so many ways that we can promote health and wellness program.
Questions? Anyone? Anyone has questions who wants to ask the panelists?
It's not the questions, but I would like to share my idea about how to help the Thai people in the office enjoy more about business, about fitness. I myself, I'm the boss of myself, so I have my time to go out and running in the morning or in the evening whenever I want. But one thing that I have noticed from the Facebook, Thai ladies nowadays, they are concerned more about their body. They enjoy to buy sport gear, and now the sport gear become cheaper and people enjoy it. And they have seen from the celebrity that the celebrity has a six-pack as the body that look like the Western lady, and they like to have that kind of body. So now people change the attitude. I believe that they want to change, and maybe the company can get this idea like, okay, we can give the incentive on free shopping somewhere, or the privilege to buy something for them. It started fun, but it works. 3 years ago, nobody cares about wearing bikini in the summer, but now we are very excited and waiting for when the summer coming, the swimwear getting cheaper, people enjoy more. And even now the guys, they like to build the body to look like a celebrity. So big chance, make it fun, and it can happen. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a really good point. Anyone wants to add on to that?
I think you've hit the nail on the head exactly with that. I think probably if you look at countries around the world, probably Australia is one of the pinnacle countries of fitness, real dedicated to fitness. They make time for it. And I think if you look at them, their active wear, as they would call it, basically workout wear clothing, probably 3 to 1 over normal fashion within clothing there. So it's a big thing on the back of it. I think the other challenge with it here is the body conscious thing that comes into it. And you said, I think before, like, there was one gym here in 2001. How many Starbucks do you think were here in 2001? And how many McDonald's? Because that also adds to the... no, exactly. But it also adds to that. It also adds to that at the same time of it as well. So we're kind of competing with the same side of it at the same time.
Yes.
Good evening. I heard a lot of interesting discussion about health and wellness industry, but I'm still looking for an answer to the following question. According to each of you, what's the market size estimation for Thailand today and in 5 years' time? Thank you.
Question? Wants to start? Okay.
Unfortunately, you know, I would say that in Thailand we don't have like kinds of fitness center association, so it's very hard to tell, you know, the exactly of the market cap in Thailand. But some say that the market cap in Thailand is about 30,000 million baht. But you know, that's what people say. But anyway, you know, as I mentioned to you, that a lot of room for the health and fitness industry in Thailand. As I mentioned to you, that the penetration of the Thai people who belong to the gym it's less than 1%. So that means it's huge opportunity. And now today, you know, the government, the people, everyone alert about health and fitness and about health and you know, like wellness. Like you guys mentioned, you know, now if you go to the shopping mall, in old days you probably never seen like sportwear shop, you know, like that one on the ground floor. There was like all the top floors, but now, you know, like all the shopping mall, the need to bring, you know, those kinds of sportwear stores downstairs, because people, at least now, you know, they feel passionate about the fashion of the sport fashions, and you know, it's why not, you know, it's even the little step, maybe a crazy step, but you know, now they start wearing kinds of, you know, sportwear, and that means they start thinking something to exercise at least.
It's a really good question, and we don't know the answer. One of the issues in Thailand, when we say that there's only 1% that are members of gyms, Thailand has a big rural community. If you bring it down to just Bangkok versus Singapore, the proportion would be quite different. Indirectly, we know, because we don't run gyms. But we train trainers. We train yoga instructors and Pilates instructors and personal trainers and Perfect instructors. And that business should be quite small. And it started off very small 12 years ago. And we are now so busy, we're bringing people in, like, we're delaying entry for 6 months. So we're producing 400 personal trainers per year. And there would be more coming. So those people offer way more opportunities. I think the fitness industry has changed in that it's gone from hotel gyms to many large chains to multiple studios. Almost every street corner along the BTS has a PT studio or yoga studio or Pilates studio. So there's the growth is very big, but I couldn't put a number on it.
Okay, very interesting. You know that the growth is there, but you cannot estimate the market size. I think definitely there is a need for a proper market research and association or whatever, something that will give to each and every player on the industry a line view, because at the end of the day it's always about the business potential, right? I mean, if you don't know which kind of market you address, you don't know how to make up your plans, right? Okay, to make the question easier, for the rest of the panelists, at least if you cannot have a, let's say, clear estimation for this market size, maybe you can share with us the growth rates for the last 3 years, because maybe this is easier, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think, and just to touch on the first point, I think that your question and the answers that have been given so far, which I agree with, show the exact problem and also the current day where we are in the state for the wellness industry in Thailand, is that it is so new and the education still isn't completely there and it's not being pushed from the top, that there hasn't been a company that's come out and done real market research, or at this point any of our companies that would be the ones probably that would be producing this type of information or these resources, we haven't been able to because it's all still so new. But in terms of growth, I mean, obviously, to your point with how many trainers you're cranking out every year and how much more interest there is, for GuavaPass in particular, we've seen exponential growth over the last 2 years that we've been in the market. When we launched here in March of 2015, we didn't think we thought we were too early for the market, to be honest, but we had already launched in Singapore, we were about to launch in Hong Kong, and it made sense for us to just give it a try here because we had resources here. And so we gave it a go, and we couldn't have expected the overwhelming response that we had. And not only have we had growth on the customer side and grown our subscriber base from 0 to where it is today, but on the studio side as well. When we started, there were 20 studios that we launched with, 20 boutique studios, and there were more that were already open at the time. But at this point, there's probably, I would say, 20% of the studios that we're working with only opened in the last 2 years since we started business. So it shows that there's the demand on the customer side and that on the studio side they're responding as well.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, we're starting at 0 right now. We are starting at 0. We're entering, in particular in Asia, a new category with corporate wellness. It's something that's not really out there at the moment. People are thinking about it. Companies want to do it. Staff want it to happen, but no one's really engaging it. And Susan said exactly the thing. It's finding an ambassador within the company, someone to do it. Where do I think it could go? I mean, it doesn't need to be huge, but it needs to be driven by a company. I'd like to say between the next 5 years, if we were doing 5 to 10% of companies were offering some kind of corporate wellness or some kind of engagement package or something that was responsible for getting people up and getting people moving, I'd be really pleased with that. I don't think we're ever going to get to 100%. Certainly not in this part of the world, but if we were getting towards 10% and 1 in 10 companies were doing it, I'd be actually quite pleased with it. I think that would be a big step forward.
Would that answer your questions?
Yes.
Pretty much? Yeah. Awesome.
Can I just ask quickly, do you know how many companies currently in Thailand do have some kind of corporate wellness program and how that compares to the West as well?
I'm yet to find a company that really takes it seriously, but that's not to say that there isn't. There's a few international companies I know that kind of want to dip their toe in the water or are offering discounted gym memberships, for example, and things like that. So I know there are a lot of companies that will do that and will say, okay, I'm sure you've got a ton of corporate customers, for example, at the back of it. That's a good step towards it, and I think companies think sometimes that's enough to tick a box in a way and say, okay, you know what, we're doing our bit for wellness. I don't have a true number on the back of it. I know, like I say, Japan, US and Australia probably are the leading countries, I would say, in the world.
Do you know roughly the percentage there? How many companies?
I don't know the US and Australia, I don't know if anyone else does, but we know for Japan, because we're working with a project basically in Japan at the moment. We know that probably 1 in 10 companies at the moment are starting to take it more seriously and are starting to do more flexible working hours. But it's got to the point in Japan where, suicide rates are quite high because of long working hours. So they're actually having to do it from a government perspective. They're actually forcing it to go forward with it. So it's going to grow. It's going to be one of those things that people consider in the next few years from a working perspective. But I think also flexible working hours and everything else is starting to become more open now. And even this is becoming something in Thailand now, where you see a lot of companies allowing people to start at 10 and work till 6 or 7, and that helps massively as well, because if you get that 3-hour window in the morning, or you get that 3-hour window in the afternoon, it's a really, really good opportunity to find time to do stuff.
So I can share with you about Virgin Active in Thailand. Now we have almost 100 corporate clinics who work with us for over the last 3 years. And when we talk about almost 100 corporate companies, a minimum of their staff is at 10 depend on the size, but we start a minimum at 10. So the max one is 500. So basically, you know, about 20% of our memberships they are from corporate, and we are trying to promote the corporate wellness program. So basically, you know, we have 15,000 members in Thailand, and 20% of that belong to the corporates. Yeah.
So can I ask a question out to the audience?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
I just want to know, does anyone actually work for a company that offer any kind of corporate wellness incentives or platforms or anything? Apart from my two co-founders at the back. So it's a very small number. But what do you get offered? Sorry, someone have their hand up. Where? So what? Yeah, someone.
We work for the PR agency, so usually they don't really like give priority to this type of thing like wellness, because you know, as all of you may know, that agency people work hard and tend to work overtime. But our office like try to change, and so they start this year to offer like 500 baht a month for you to do any kind of like wellness activity that you like. For example, like go to massage or go to fitness.
Fantastic. That's exactly it. Agencies are always the first runners, I always think, with all these kind of things, the first people to adopt it and to take it down. So it's good. I mean, fantastic. You're working for a company that care about you, which is super, super important. So fantastic.
Yeah, I've got something. So Chevron Australia, though, I'm working for a Thai company now, and we only offer discounted gym memberships. But an example would be in Chevron Australia, where you don't only get a gym membership, but they pay it all for free. You get work-life, ergonomics. So every 10 minutes, you have to take a rest from your computer. Your computer locks away. You get sit-stand desks. You get massages every week, where people will come to your office and give you an office massage. Stuff like that, but that's probably going to the extreme. But they do a pretty good job, so I'm not sure whether they do it here.
Don't ever leave.
It's too late, I've already left.
There's more question here.
This is a different question. Is definitely Thailand healthcare industry, including personal training program, is getting bigger and bigger, definitely. But I feel like fitness industry in Thailand is more focusing on middle income level or high so. So when we consider the GDP or purchasing power, what kind of pricing strategy or target customer we have got? And next, do you have any plan for local people as that market? I just curious, yeah. Because I'm from actually South Korea, but it's many people is enjoying the fitness, and many people can go to the gym easily. But I think that when I consider the price, I think it's quite higher than Korea. It's quite high. So I just wonder, yeah, you guys definitely have some plan for this. So yeah.
I'm going to pass the mic because, to be honest, GuavaPass is a premium product that isn't targeting the mass, and that's just the strategy that we have and the business model that we have. So I'm not the right person to speak to it.
Dr. Susan? Start off with question.
Very interesting question. So basically, you know, in Thailand, we try to build like a social clubs, and we have from the affordable club concept, you know, and till like the premium one, the high-end one. So like in hotels, I think it's a varieties of the membership type and the product that you're looking for to. Not talking about only Virgin Active, you know, like there's a lot of small boutique studios around Bangkok, which is high, charge you like very affordable price. So it doesn't mean that fitness industry in Bangkok, in Thailand, it's only about the high-end or high-soul people, but you know, I think it's for everyone now. So for example, you know, around this catchment, so you know, you can see a lot of maybe 5 to 6 boutique studio, small one, which is, the price is very affordable, up to like the high-end one, like 5-star hotel. So I think we have a lot of segment to serve all the people. Not sure that answered the question or not, but.
It's a really good question and it's a good observation. If you look at the prices of gym memberships average here, and if you look at the price of personal training average here, it is quite high, and it's higher than the US. It's higher than Australia. So it has been kind of positioned as a higher income luxury, and a lot of people would like to be able to enjoy personal training and enjoy fitness facilities, and they can't afford it, and that's absolutely right. I think as the industry develops, there will be different options available. Right now you have the totally free run around Lumpini Park that's available, so there are totally affordable options. But if you're trying to look at a fitness facility, I think it'll take a little while, but there is a market for affordable fitness facility and fitness services, and I think that market will fill for sure.
Any more questions?
More questions? No? Okay, then this will be the end of the actual panel discussion and also the Q&A session. I would like to thank everyone who participated, the audience, and also the panelists and our moderator, of course. I really enjoyed myself. And I'm sure that, that the audience felt the same. So as a token of our appreciation, our chairman, Paul Marks, would like to come and give a few presents to the panelists and also to the moderator. Okay, let's take a picture. Okay, let's have a quick picture.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. For me, I definitely recommend that special booth over there. This company is called Impact. Impact is an online marketing service which is specialized in video production and also the Facebook operation. With their service, they can help you to get more followers on the social media. Please feel free to talk to them during the networking event. What's more, Big platform is not just a platform. Big is not just a platform for us to see and listen to the others. What's more important, Big is a platform for us to share and learn from each other. During the networking session, please feel free to talk to the people. We also provide lovely food and amazing food over there. Please feel free to try. And now let's let the networking event begin. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
So you have quite good profiles, the people from big companies like